Good morning, students. I hope you understood my previous class. Just recall your memory and try to answer these questions. When was the Citizenship Act implemented? In 1955. How many fundamental rights are provided under the Constitution? There are 6 fundamental rights. What is a heart and soul of the Constitution? That is Article 32, right to constitutional remedies. Mention the 5 kind of writs: habeas corpus, mandobus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. Now we will move on into the other concept. First one, directive principles of state policy. Under that, the directive principles of state policy are enumerated in Part 4 of the Constitution from Articles 36 to 51. They can be classified into 3 broad categories, that is socialistic, that is all are equal, Gandhian, giving importance for rural economy, and liberal and intellectual. They are fundamental for the governance of the country. The government's duty bound to apply these principles while making laws. They aim at promoting the social welfare of the people. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described these principles as novel features of the Indian Constitution. That is, directive principles of state policy are considered as novel features of the Indian Constitution. Now, try to differentiate between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. Under fundamental rights, it was derived from the Constitution of USA. Even the government cannot take away or these rights. These are enforceable by the court of law. They have legal sanction. These rights strengthen political democracy in the country, and these are natural rights. That's about our fundamental rights. Then, directive principles of state policy. It was drawn on the model of the Constitution of Ireland. Ireland, it is an European country. These are mere instructions to the government. These are not enforceable in any court. These have moral and political sanction. The implementation of these principles ensure social and economic democracy. This leads to protect human rights. That's the difference between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy. The next topic is fundamental duties. The fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution are inspired by the Constitution of former USSR, that is our Russia. The 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 added some responsibilities of citizens to our Constitution called the Fundamental Duties. 42nd Amendment Act of 1976 is also called as Mini Constitution. Article 51A declares is to be the duty of every citizen of India. We want to do certain duties towards our country. First one, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem. To abide, that is to respect. To cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspire the national struggle for freedom. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Then to defend the country and render national service. Then to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India. Then to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment including forest, lake, rivers and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. That is, we want to protect our natural environment. To develop scientific temper, humanism and spirit of inquiry and reform. Inquiry, that is search of knowledge. Then to safeguard public property and to adjure violence. Adjure, to avoid violence. Then to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individuals and collective activity. The last one, to provide opportunity for education to his child or ward between the age of 6 and 14 years, that is compulsory education up to 14 years. The 11th fundamental duty under 51A K, that is under which all citizens of India or parents shall provide opportunity for education to their children between the age of 6 to 14 years. Regarding this education, that comes under our right as well as into our duties. The next concept is central state relations. The Constitution of India, being federal in structure, divides all powers between the state and the center. The center-state relation can be studied under three heads. First one, legislative relations. The Union Parliament has the power to legislate for the whole territory of India, the states, which includes the states and union territories. The 7th schedule of the Constitution embodies three lists, namely Union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list, that is certain items, that is certain law come under the control of union government. Then certain things come under the control of state. Then concurrent, that is both central government and state government can decide, but the central is a decision maker under the concurrent list. At present, there are 100 items comes under our union list, 61 items comes under the state list and 52 items comes under the concurrent list. Our education also comes under the concurrent list. That is about our legislative relations. Next concept is administrative relations. The administrative power of a state extends only to its own territory and with respect to which it has legislative competence. That is our administrative relations. The third one, financial relations. Article 268 to 293 in Part 12 deal with the financial relation between center and the states. The center and states are empowered by the Constitution to impose various kinds of taxes, and certain taxes are imposed and collected by the center and divided between the center and states based on the recommendations of the Finance Commission appointed by the President under Article 280 of the Constitution. Regarding imposing of taxes, Finance Commission will recommend certain things. Late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi appointed the Sarkaria Commission in 1983 to make an enquiry into the state-central relations. Sarkaria Commission 1983 appointed by former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Same way in 1969, in Tamil Nadu government appointed a 3-member committee under the chairmanship of Dr. P.V. Rajamanna to examine the entire questions of center and state relations. So every state will appoint certain commissions to check the center-state relations. That is about our center-state relation. The next concept is official languages. Part 17 of the Constitution deals with the official language in Articles 343 to 351. Its provisions are divided into 4 heads, namely language of the Union, that is the central government. That Hindi is considered as a language of the Union government. Regional languages, that is also comes under our Hindi. Hindi as a regional language as well as the government language. Then language of the judiciary, that is third one is language of judiciary, the court language. In Supreme Court and High Court, English is considered as their language. Then last one, special directives. So special directives towards all states of the country. Parliament enacted the Official Language Act in 1963. Under that, English is considered as an official language of our country. English as an official language, Hindi as a regional language. And we have in the government of India under the constitution, they recognized 14 languages as regional languages. This you can see in our currency notes, 14 languages. At present, they added certain things. So, totally we have 22 languages are considered as recognized languages. The 22 languages are Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Bodo, Sandali, Mithili and Dogri. These are the 22 recognized languages of India. Same way, in 2004, the government of India decided to create new category of languages called as classical languages. So, you know it, classical, that is in Tamil, it is called Chemmoli. So far, the 6 languages are granted the classical language status, namely Tamil, Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannadam, Malayalam and Odia. These are our classical languages. So far, we discussed about directive principles of state policy, center-state relations and about official languages. Side by side, start studying the question answers, students. Thank you.